Hey folks, welcome back. I am getting my firewood. I'm not after much. So I'm getting anywhere from small pieces to medium pieces. Now we all feared the storm last night. I don't want all small pieces. Yesterday and last night we had an awful lot of rainfall. And the wind was just absolutely crazy. It was wind-driven rain. And at about 1 or 2 o'clock, I looked at the weather app again, and I'm like, well, it's only like 30 something outside. I thought it was supposed to be 57. Well, 57 degrees came last night at about 10 o'clock. That's when everyone's power went out here in the area. There's a lot of power outages in the state of Maine. So at 10 o'clock, when the warmest temperature was supposed to be, that's when the winds really picked up, folks. So at about 2:30 this morning, I woke up to an awful noise, folks. I get up, grab my flashlight, and the noise was coming out here at the woodshed. Well, the wind was coming all the way across the bog, hitting the back side of my house on the south-facing side, and hit the woodsheds. Well, what I have for covering in the front are tarps, and I made sure those were very secure. But every once in a while, it would swirl. And that's what I think happened. One of the grommets broke free. The wind came around just right and took it off the nail, because I have the grommets hooked on by the nail. Just stretch the tarp a little bit and fasten it. So this tarp broke free. It was still attached up on top here, the top of the opening, but I couldn't see the tarp. I just couldn't see the tarp. The wind was so bad and the rain was so bad, folks, and we just kept getting waves of fog. And finally I stepped out. I got all geared up just to step out, folks. I was going to come out and see what was happening because I don't need that wind, blown rain, going right on my wood, right? Not a lot of it anyway. Some of it's okay. Not downpours like we had yesterday and last night. So I got about to where my car was, and I found where the wind had let up and it swirled again, and I almost got clobbered by this tarp, wind-blown tarp. It was snapping in the wind, folks, just like you snap a dishcloth. So that almost got me. So I secured everything that I could, and everything was good. Now I've got another tier down here. That's the first tier in front of the woodshed. That did get damp, so I'm allowing that to dry. I fastened the tarp up, rolled it back up to let the nice breeze blow in there to dry some of that off. Up here, it's not bad. Apparently, the tarp snapped, you know, like a dishcloth, and that's what woke me up. But before that, apparently, wind was blowing in on this first tier from about 3.5 feet down. On the second tier was damp on the ends. So anything above 3.5 feet is going to be good. But I've rolled this tarp up and the wind has gotten to it, and what little sun we had today, that got to it a little bit. So I'll leave this flap open for a few days to dry. To dry a little bit more. And then another year, my intentions, and I've got everything to do it with, I just haven't had the time, folks, is I've got the makings for 2 doors. 2 big doors, the same, they're going to be made the same way as the woodshed, so it's going to have 4-inch gaps in it. And they're going to open up and close in the middle so I can latch it. And then on the wood side, so the inside of those doors, I'm going to have a tarp. So the wind can blow all it wants and it's not going to lift the tarp, so it's lying on top of the woodshed roof if it comes free in another, whatever this storm was, folks, right? So any wood that gets wet this time of year for a few hours, it's just going to dry. It's just surface wetness. But it's going to dry. You just can't come out and grab an armload and throw it in the stove. It's just going to smoke and smolder. It's just not going to help with keeping the creosote down, right? Which is a big problem with burning wood. You got to do it right. Anyway, a lot of people without power. And it's not very warm out, folks. It is not. So if a person is without power today, I hope they had backup. They should have backup. They should have drawn some water so they can have some water. They should have had some meat, sandwich meat, any quick meals that you don't have to cook up. That's just preparing, right? But so many people do not have backups, and those are the people that gripe the most. The power went out, I'm cold, I can't cook anything, I'm out of water. Well, if you had backups, even today you could have cooked outside on an outside fire, right? You could have. Or a grill, or at least have food that you don't have to cook on hand, right? Plus water, plus whatever, right? So some people gripe every year. They lose their power in the winter and they gripe every year, but they don't seem to do much about it, right? So those people, you really can't help those people because they're not learning from year to year to year. And the people that I know that go through this every single winter, they have not done anything to change. They haven't come up with a plan. Oh, great, the power's probably going to go out. This is a storm. I'm going to be stuck. I can't go anywhere, and I'm cold. There's only so many blankets and wool socks I can put on. There's only so many hats I can put on, and I'm cold, and I don't have any water because the pump's not working because, and at least have a generator and a few cans of gas at bare minimum. I would think that would be the cheapest way out of all of this. Get like a $400 or $500 generator, buy 2 cans of gas right here. I've got a bunch of these, folks. This one here, it hasn't been filled because there's just a little bit left in there. And I have a bunch of those, and that's the only one that is almost empty. What I do is I rotate them. I fill them up when one is empty. And if I'm going through town or if I need to go to town, I'll take that 1 or 2 gas cans and I will fill them up. Sorry, folks, I just had company pop in. So, prepare, prepare, prepare. And if you're not going to prepare, then that's on you. That's just on you. So, I'm going to finish getting my wood this morning. There was some trees down in the camp road here. Not very big. Just not very big. So, I started on this end with cutting the trees out of the road. My stepdad and Sister Barb got the trees out of the road up on the other end, and then she had to go to work. So me and my stepdad got the trees that were in the road. It didn't take very long, folks. We've had a whole lot worse storms, let me tell you. We were thankful that these were just small trees. The biggest one is probably 6-7 inches across, not big at all. So, and again, that's where having a chainsaw really helps. So I already had my chainsaw filled up. The barn chain oil was in there. The chain was already sharp. I made sure the tension on the chain was tight enough and ready to go, right? So if you have all that stuff on hand, the task at hand is quicker because it's already been done. You just grab your chainsaw and go where it's needed, right? And if you run a chainsaw, if you own a chainsaw, you really should know how to run it. I know a lot of people who own chainsaws because they feel that they need one, but they don't know how to run it. They don't know how to maintain it. Well, I didn't either. When I bought my first one, I didn't know how to do any. All my life I've been around chainsaws. I would pick them up and lug them around, but I've never cut anything with it until I bought my own. And it's no big deal, folks. You just got to pay attention and be smart about it, right? But a lot of people have chainsaws. They don't have the stuff that goes in the chainsaws. They don't know how to tighten or loosen a chain. They don't know about the they don't know about the summer blend, the winter blend, bar and chain oil. They don't know about mixing all that, let alone having all of that on hand. So if you have a chainsaw and have all that on hand, especially extra chains, right, and know how to put it on, then the battle is half won. If you know how to run the chainsaw and it's all ready to go, then you've won the battle, right? It's quicker. It's no big deal. Grab the chainsaw, go cut the tree, get everything out of the road, and then you're done, right? If you have to stop and check your chain, check your oil, check your gas, mix the gas, tighten the chain, any of that, and that just makes the chore a whole lot longer, folks, right? And there's other things that need to be done. So prepare. Those who have the prepared mindset know all this. Those who have the prepared mindset, when things come up, it's not such a crisis. It's not such a big deal because you're prepared for it, right? But woe is me are the ones that dread the storm coming, haven't done anything since last winter when they went through 2 weeks without power or heat in the wintertime, swore they would never go through that again, didn't do anything since then to prepare for this winter. They can woe is me all they want. I don't have any woe left in people like that. I just don't. Now that might make me mean. That might make me cruel. They might as well spend, what is it for a gas can now? They're outrageously expensive. 5-gallon gas can, what is it, $20? And you spend another $20 filling it up. There's $40. You have 2 cans of gas on hand. And then there's what? There's $80. And then if you get marine stable or any kind of whatever in there to help preserve the oil, help preserve the gas, then you're under $100. You're gonna be ready for with gas. Then if you spend $400 or $500 on a gas generator, well, there we go. For under $800 easy, you could be set up so you can at least have heat, right? At least have heat. So, but you can't help those that won't help themselves, folks. You're just enabling if you do. They've got to learn. Some people have to relearn and relearn and relearn, but if they're not learning if they have to keep learning it, right? They're just going through the motions and bitching about it while they're doing it, right? So call that mean, call that selfish, call that cruel, whatever you want to call it. I call it get off your ass and do something for yourself. Because I'm just that plain and simple. I'm just that blunt. If I went 2 weeks, one winter, unprepared, really, really, really cold, nothing to drink, you can't get out to get anything to drink because they're so messy, or trees are down everywhere, lines are down, whatever. There's 3 feet of snow. We've got 2 inches of ice. Nothing can move. If I had gone through that, don't you think that I wouldn't be overly prepared the next winter? I would be. But again, preparing is a mindset. You either have it, folks, just like common sense. Oh, I don't want that one. You either have common sense or you don't. That's all the wood I'm going to get. That's all. That's way more wood than I need. But I got talking and I got throwing, right? So, I know homestead hopefuls, they fared the storm good. I've heard from homestead hopefuls. I've heard from women off grid with dog. She fared it all right. She put out a little short. And I sent word to Hanbelchea Ranch. I haven't heard a response yet, but I did find where, just a few minutes ago, I just found where they had posted 4 hours ago that they're okay up there. So, the people that I know that live way away from it all, they're okay. So, if you're in Maine and you went through this storm, can you let us know how you fared? You don't have to give your town, just a quadrant maybe, northeast, southeast, southwest, whatever, along the coast, bordering New Hampshire, bordering Canada, bordering New Brunswick, almost to Green Acre. You got this storm too, so if you can let us know how you're doing, how you fared, okay? Bye-bye.